Our favorite team probably doesn't have a superstar. Could you imagine if your favorite team had a superstar?
What is that?
And then he had two more superstars, and then they broke the NBA regular season record and went to the finals, and then the next year got another superstar? Wouldn't that be so much fun as a fan? Well, not always. Because, you know, sometimes those teams don't exactly work out. Sometimes they are disappointing. Here are the three super teams that were supposed to be super, but ended up being major failures. Number 3, the 2012 Los Angeles Lakers. It's 2011. The sun is shining in Los Angeles. You're the number 1 team in the division. You're the number 3 team in the conference. And in the next year, you add 2 All-Stars, Steve Nash and Dwight Howard. But Greg, Dwight Howard's an average overrated center, and Steve Nash is almost 50 years old.
Balls.
Remember, this is 2011, where Steve Nash is actually still an all-star, and Dwight Howard was a stud.
Look at the leg. Look at Billie Jean and Not My Love.
So you take a team that was already a contender and add these dudes, they were expected to be what the Warriors are today. Unstoppable, 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 unstoppable. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? I mean, I don't know. Barely making the playoffs, having a much worse record, losing in the first round of the playoffs, getting swept. 2013! Oh wait, they did make the playoffs! They were the worst team in the West. Wait, how many teams are there in the NBA? Okay, they were the second worst team in the Western Conference. Number 2. Okay, so this is gonna trigger some people.
Wait for it.
But you're gonna need to let me explain before you get triggered.
Wait for it.
So number 2 is the 2010 when LeBron went to Miami. Dwayne Wade was a superstar. Chris Bosh was a superstar for the Raptors at the time until he went to the Heat. LeBron joining literally made it seem like it wouldn't be fair. Like no one could compete. Like they might just go 82-0, maybe 81-1 just because they felt so bad for some team they let them win. That's what it seemed like. Now, I'm not gonna say, oh, the Heat had a terrible season and it collapsed like the Lakers had. The Heat did start off kind of bad. They started 9-8, and when you're arguably the best team in NBA history, on paper, you should be a little better than 9-8. Now, they finished out okay, second in the conference, which in the East, and then they lost in the finals to the Dallas Mavericks. Oh, well, Greg, maybe the Dallas Mavericks had a super team themselves. Actually not. When the Dallas Mavericks won that year, it's known as the year of a team winning with, like, 1 star. They had Dirk Nowitzki. Everyone else was a role player. They had Sean Marion. Wow, whoop-de-doo. Sean Marion isn't the reason any team is winning a title, okay?
Give me the ring.
So you know what? When you are that amazing of a team on paper, anything less than the title is considered a failure. But eventually the Heat picked it up because, you know, the next couple years they won the title. And then LeBron came back to Cleveland. And then he came back from a 3-1 lead. Okay, yeah, you know the rest of that story. Number 1. So some of you might be thinking I'm gonna say, oh, it's the Golden State Warriors. Just because I'm a Thunder fan who is still extremely salty that Kevin Durant left. Yeah, I wanted to say that. But that wouldn't be the truth. I only found one team to really fit in with this failure. So the Nets made arguably the worst move in NBA history. They traded Gerald Wallace, Chris Humphries, some other players, and 3 first-round picks for a 38-year-old Kevin Garnett, 35-year-old Paul Pierce, and who knows how old Jason Terry. Now you might say, wait, Greg, all those dudes are old veterans, like who cares? How does that make a super team? Not at the time. This is when they were at the end of their prime, but they were still winning titles. Kevin Garnett was seen as a star. Paul Pierce was looked at as an elite scorer. This was seen as a big move that could really put them into contention. I meant to say contention. The year before, 2012 and 2013, the Nets were actually doing good. They had 49 wins, which is actually extremely solid, second in the division, fourth in the Eastern Conference. They made it to the first round of the playoffs and lost in Game 7 against the Bulls. So with all this success, being extremely competitive in their first year in Brooklyn, they wanted to make a big boy move. And boy, did they make a big boy mistake. The very next year, they take a step down. After getting all these superstar players, they get 44 wins, and they finish 6th in the conference. So they traded their future for a super team, and ever since that trade, never had a better record than that. Lost the players they got from the trade, but at least they can build their future. No, actually, they traded their 3 first-round picks and their young players. So there goes that future.
Yes.